Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Am I the Butthole? Reddit video. Am I the butthole for calling the police on my fiancé? I am a 30-year-old female and have a 28-year-old male fiancé. We have been together for 3 years. I used to live close to work and used public transportation, but after I moved into his house, which is hours away from work, I bought myself a car since I'm a nurse and also since there isn't any hospitals close to where we live that I could transfer to. My fiancé's car hasn't been working for close to 2 months now. It requires so much money to get it fixed, and he refused my financial help when I offered it. Instead, he would ask to use my car every now and then, and I agreed as long as it's when I'm not working, and also since he only uses it for trips to the supermarket, etc. On New Year's Eve, he told me he wanted to use my car to go hang out with his friends and celebrate, but I declined because I had to cover a night shift and needed my car to travel to work. He insisted and even suggested I take the night off or swap shifts with another nurse, but I couldn't do that last minute. I thought he dropped it then, but when I went into the shower and got out, I couldn't find him nor my car. I freaked out and started calling for half an hour, but he didn't answer me. I tried again till one of his friends picked up. I demanded he give the phone to my fiancé, but he said they were out. He confirmed that they took my car and told me my fiancé said that it's better that I skip my shift. He'll be back with my car later. I couldn't take it. I felt so enraged. I got my fiancé on the phone and told him I did not consent for him to take my car to go hang out with friends. I said I'd call the police to get it back if he refused to come back with it. He didn't take me seriously, so I ended up calling the police. He and his friends were picked up at the bar where they were hanging out, then they were taken to the police department. I got my car from there and I still went to my shift. My fiancé was released hours after I left. He blew up my phone with missed calls and texts about how I was out of my mind to call the police on him and put him in this situation. I did not respond, but when I got off work the next day, we got into an argument. He said he couldn't believe I'd done this to him, but I told him he made me do this. To which he responded that I was petty and callous because not only did I ruin his New Year's celebration, but all his friends aren't speaking to him after I put them in this situation as well. He then kept giving me silence about it. I did consider this a form of theft, especially since he went behind my back after getting a no from me, but he was shocked that I'd even imply that he was a thief and said, "What's yours is mine," and vice versa, so I shouldn't be using the terms theft and stealing. Am I the butthole for telling my new coworker it's misleading for him to be wearing his wedding ring when he's a widower? Hi. A couple of weeks ago, we had a new employee hired at the company. He's a good guy and a widower named James, 36. To my knowledge, his late wife passed away 8 months ago. I'm a 32-year-old female. My coworkers and I got along well with him. However, I noticed that he is still wearing his wedding band on his finger. It kind of confused me a bit, and I couldn't help but bring it up with him while on lunch break. We talked, and I pointed out that he was being misleading by still wearing his wedding band when he's a widower. He looked quite bothered by what I said, but I tried to explain that I think he was giving people the wrong idea or impression about his relationship status, since he's technically single and on his own right now. I don't want to sound cruel, but I'm speaking from a technical angle. James said that he didn't give it much thought, meaning he didn't care what people thought, and that even if he wasn't wearing his wedding band and some woman approached him, he'd still turn them down since he's obviously not interested. For some reason, things got awkward and everyone stopped eating and just stared at James and me. I told him, I don't know, but that really felt genuinely misleading of him, as in making people think he is in a relationship and married when he is not, regardless of how he felt about being in a relationship. He got upset, called me rude, and said that I repeatedly disrespected his marriage and his late wife's memory with what I said, then took his stuff and walked away. My coworker said regardless of who was right or wrong, though some said he overreacted, there was no reason for me to bring this up in the first place and cause a scene and make James upset with us, as now he is not speaking to me and the others who sided with me. Am I the butthole? Did I overstep, or did he overreact? This was just a conversation we were casually having with the other coworkers, and I didn't use any insensitive tones or anything, but we had a discussion and it suddenly turned into an argument. I tried to let things calm down, but the situation got out of hand unexpectedly. Am I the butthole for giving my mother-in-law a fake copy of my house key and exposing her during Christmas dinner? I want to preface this by saying that I'm a 34-year-old female and my husband is a 37-year-old male. We got married a year ago. His mom is snoopy and annoying as flip. She can't help it, that is just how she is, as my dear in-laws say. My husband and I purchased a new house recently. My mother-in-law kept pushing to get an emergency key. She promised that she would only use it in an emergency. Given the fact that she had an emergency key to our old apartment and walked in on us being intimate twice, I just couldn't trust her. My husband didn't think it was a big deal. So after she kept pushing, I just sent her a fake key. She had a very smug look on her face after I hand-delivered it to her. Days had gone by, and at Christmas dinner, my mother-in-law angrily called me out that I had given her a fake copy of the house key. She shamed me for doing this in front of everyone. In my defense, I asked her how she found out. She said days ago she came over at 4 while my husband and I were out. I reminded her, didn't you promise you wouldn't use it unless there was an emergency? So you tried to get in when there was no emergency, and you broke the promise you made to us. She looked red in the face, and the other family started staring, and some even laughed at her for the face she made. She suddenly got up from her seat and rushed into the kitchen, where she had a huge meltdown. So loud, the next-door neighbors must have heard. Literally, I've never heard a 60-plus-year-old woman throw a tantrum like that. Needless to say, dinner was awkward. My husband and his sister were giving me looks. My husband went off on me in the car and said I lied, manipulated, humiliated, and exposed his mom. He said he wouldn't have let me get away with it had he known. We had an argument, and he is demanding I apologize to his mom for my childish behavior and for ruining Christmas dinner for the whole family. Am I the butthole? So this went off unexpectedly, and I thought I'd show my husband some pretty helpful comments I found here a few minutes ago, but he got mad at me when he saw it. He said I was nuts to talk about his family online. He demanded I give him my phone so he could delete it, but I refused. I went upstairs and into the bedroom. I've never seen him so agitated, and I didn't think he'd react like that, honestly. But thank you guys for your support. It means so much. I'll update this if I can. Thanks again. This is John from /bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to be the first to know when the next one is coming, subscribe and click on that notifications bell. I would love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one.